Everyone, welcome to the show. So, karma has not been good to Donald Trump trolls Jacob Wall and Jack Berkman, and apparently she's not done with them. If you're not familiar with these two, consider yourself lucky. Wall and Berkman have been behind some very high profile scams and political lies over many years now. They have made just outrageous claims about various political officials, various law enforcement officials like Robert Mueller. They usually say that they're involved in sex scandals. Like, just to give you an example, during the 2020 election, they told news outlets they had evidence that presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren was having an affair with a 24-year-old soldier. And they made it out to be like some sort of 50 Shades of Grey bondage type of relationship. Wall and Berkman just said, oh, they've been having this affair. We've got the guy. We can, give you the evidence. And they've been caught just numerous times paying people to go along with their lie. And then what they do is they host an elaborate press conference. They promise to show the evidence. They promise to have the witness tell their story. And then every single time they have zero evidence, the so-called witness backs out inevitably because they realize, oh, I could actually get maybe arrested or sued for defamation. I don't want to do this. So last year, you guys may recall, if you have heard of them, it's probably from this. They both pleaded guilty and they were sentenced for violating the Voting Rights Act and the Ku Klux Klan Act. Because they got caught, they were paying for robocalls to black neighborhoods specifically, and there were emails proving that this was what they were trying to do to target black voters, trying to intimidate them and scare these residents so that they wouldn't vote in the 2020 election. So they did this in various states, and they were each, hit with different charges, or both hit with different charges in various states and lawsuits. But they were sentenced ultimately to 6 months of home confinement, 2 years of probation, and $2,500 as a fine each. And then Wall and Berkman were ordered to each spend 500 hours registering low-income voters in Washington, D.C. And the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, this was the biggest thing that happened to them. They fined Wall and Berkman $5.1 million. And so now Berkman has lost his license to practice law. Yes, he is a proven liar who has repeatedly and knowingly defamed people, and he was an attorney until very recently. So he is now officially disbarred. And Wall's father is an attorney, Southern California attorney. He often appears on Fox News, or at least he used to. I haven't seen anything about him lately. But yeah, that's why Wall thought that he could get away with anything, I'm sure, because Daddy Dearest is an attorney and he can just help him get off of everything. Shocker, right? So I guess there's now one less stellar attorney that Trump can hire. Anyway, so that was some good news, but then there was more. Then there was even more news that came out literally within like a day or two of finding out that Berkman lost his law license. The Daily Beast just reported that Wall and Berkman are now being sued for $11 million by a Marine veteran who claims that they defamed him as well. The veteran isn't being named for obvious reasons, but this lawsuit says that after Wall and Berkman falsely accused him of being a child predator, he lost everything. The lawsuit states that Wall and Berkman's false accusations caused this man to lose his job at a law firm. He lost a paid internship at Johns Hopkins University. He also was evicted by his landlord. And it says that Wall and Berkman caused, quote, irreparable harm by destroying his reputation and his ability to earn a living. So this all stems from an online show that Wall and Berkman put together that they produced. They basically set up a sting operation in DC. So it's supposed to be like To Catch a Predator, where they, lure a man in to meet an underage girl or boy. And then, it ends up, it's not the girl or boy that greets them. It's like somebody with a camera. So Wall and Berkman were putting ads on the dating app called Tinder. They were trying to lure these people into their trap. Well, the plaintiff says he was there to meet someone named Sarah, whose Tinder profile showed she was a 36-year-old woman. So he shows up at this house. A grown woman answers the door. He thinks that's her. So she invites him in. He comes in and he says he's immediately surrounded by Wall and Berkman and 5 other men. And one of these men has a gun. So this man immediately says, I'm going to call the police. Like, you are keeping me against my will. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm here to meet a grown woman. And then after a bunch of back and forth with Wall and Berkman, they backed down. And then they repeatedly admitted to him that it was an innocent mix-up and that he wouldn't hear anything more about it. That they weren't going to share the video. Berkman told the plaintiff, if you will not report us, if you promise not to report us to the police, we will not share this video. So, be cool, just leave. This was a huge mistake. They kept saying that. So the plaintiff kept his end of the bargain. He did not report them to the police. Now, he did reach out to the FBI, he said, because he was very concerned. And part of the reason he didn't report them was because he didn't really know who they were. He didn't know their names. So he reached out to the FBI, explained what happened. The FBI said, don't worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong. Unfortunately, liars lie, right? So Wall and Berkman ended up loading this video to their YouTube channel. They did share it, did not keep their word. And the video was called Across the Border and Into a Teen. So gross. So as they were showing this guy's face, the plaintiff's face in the video, Wall is heard saying, quote, our nation's capital is infested with deviants, perverts, and pedophiles of all stripes. And then he shared the man's first name, gave his occupation and his location. And then Wall also told the audience that the plaintiff was an attorney. He was a member of the DC bar. He mentioned that the man was affiliated with Johns Hopkins. And then Wall said that the plaintiff came, quote, to our sting house to have sex with an underage teen who he's just met on Tinder. Then they also showed the plaintiff in his military uniform with his wife, and they said that he was married. But this guy was divorced at the time. When this whole thing went down, he was already divorced. That's why he was out dating. And then the video later showed Wall and Berkman in a studio. And according to the lawsuit, they continued to make, quote, false and defamatory statements about him. And then Wall and Berkman spoke directly to the plaintiff through the camera, and they said, quote, you disgust me. You disgust America. You will not stop us exposing predators just like you. And, quote, we will never stop in pursuit of the truth. And the truth is that you are a pedophile and you are a danger to society. And then the plaintiff said that Wall and Berkman's video was at various times the second and third result that came up on page 1 of Google when you searched his name. In less than 1 year, he lost his job, lost all sources of income. He was kicked out of his apartment only 1 day after he moved in. And the apartment manager said, yeah, it was because of this video. It was because of what I found out. And when his employer fired the plaintiff, they warned him, it's not safe for you to come back to the office because you're receiving violent threats. So this guy's whole life was destroyed. And Wall and Berkman even tried to contact his ex-wife. They were trying to cause more trouble for him. They even had some woman reach out to him on Tinder, pretending to be someone else, asking him questions about his employer and all this stuff. And then eventually, this guy spent $30,000 to force Wall and Berkman to back off and to remove the video online. So he filed a protective order against them. But, with a lack of income because of the reputational damage, I mean, the guy is an attorney. He was forced to file for bankruptcy and his credit has been completely annihilated. So he is asking for a jury trial. He's asking for almost 11 million in compensatory and punitive damages, plus he wants attorney's fees. The Daily Beast, this is really funny. They reached out to Wall and Berkman for comment. Berkman didn't answer when they called. And then, so they left a message, and then he accidentally called the reporter back. And then when he realized who was on the other line, who he actually called, he just hung up. And then he sent an email later to the reporter and he said, "Oh, my phone died. I'll have to call you later. My phone died." And so, of course, he never did. So, I mean, the proof that this guy most likely did not do anything wrong, that this is all false, is number one, he filed this lawsuit against them. So all of the evidence, everything is going to come out in discovery. But second, if Wall and Berkman truly thought that this guy was a predator, why wouldn't they hand over their video footage to the police? Why wouldn't they help to put this guy behind bars? So these people are really despicable. They have caused so much harm. Just unbelievable that they have gotten away with what they have for so many years. And during the whole thing with the robocall debacle, the whole scam that they pulled with that and the trying to dissuade voters from going out to vote in the 2020 election, Berkman said he was on a hunger strike, as if that was going to make everything go away. It just shows you how completely immature and out of their minds they are. I'm not going to eat. As long as you're going to prosecute me for my crimes, I'm not eating. I'd be like, okay, that makes it a lot easier. That makes justice move a lot faster. I'll check back in 2 weeks and then I guess we'll drop the case because you won't be around. $5.1 million later. So anyway, I hope this veteran just completely destroys them, and cannot wait to see what comes out in Discovery. All right, I will let you all know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with everyone you know, become a subscriber if you have not, become a donor if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.